Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk. I am your host, Hound Dog Buck 50. On this one, I wanted to talk about the latest incident between Corey Holcomb and fellow comedian Donnell Rawlings. For those of you that follow the comedy world, Corey Holcomb, made some statements, in his 5150 podcast about David Chappelle's stand-up being not so good, and also he threw shots at Donnell Rawlings as well. So it looks like Donnell Rawlings popped up at one of Corey Holcomb's, performances, and you know he was upset about that, and he kind of, was going at him while Corey was on stage. From the little bit of footage that I saw, Donnell Rawlings was speaking his mind. Corey was just sort of on stage trying to, simmer it down. And, it didn't, you know, you know, I'm not going to say Corey Holcomb was scared, but he didn't seem like he was necessarily ready to engage in no fisticuffs like that. But what I'm going to say is, I'm going to go in depth because usually if you follow me, you see I like to drop a lot of shorts. But sometimes when you want to explain something, it's just kind of hard to sum it up in 1 minute. Now, first of all, you know, Corey Holcomb's doing his comedy set, so I wouldn't want to see him jump off stage and fight Donnell Rawlings, and if it's mess up his money or his potential money. And I'm an older guy, so I'm not endorsing violence. But here's the thing. Corey Holcomb is a very funny dude. I mess with Corey Holcomb. You know what I'm saying? But over this past, 5 to 10 years, he sort of found his lane. And his lane is I'm the real one. I'm the real. And in Hollywood, they want you to do all this, all these, things that I don't stand for, and I'll fight you. He'll fight Stephen A. Smith. He'll fight Steve Harvey. He'll fight everybody if he see him. So follow me. So I find it quite ironic that when Donnell Rawlings wanted that smoke, he didn't have that same energy. So right about now, I guess this is when you're thinking I'm going to say, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn off the camera. No, I got more. Back in the days, Corey Holcomb was on a part of the Wildin' Out crew. Wildin' Out at that time was really big. It was at its height, if you will. And this is when they used to do the black team versus the red team. I never forget this. I tried to look it up to see if I could find anything, but I couldn't. But Fat Joe was the guest at the time. I never forget. Before they started, and somebody's going to see this. And if you remember it, just give me my props and be like, yeah, I remember that one. Fat Joe said, this might not have been his exact words, but he said something to the fact like, if any of you say something slick to me, I'ma slap the you know what out of you. And I remember thinking like, wow, I was kind of disappointed in Fat Joe because I was looking at it like, well, Fat Joe, you know what this show is about. Why did you come on here? But Corey Holcomb didn't do nothing. Now, granted, it's a TV show. I don't expect Corey Holcomb to fly across the stage and fight Fat Joe, but Corey Holcomb didn't even have the look of a person that was like, okay, he talking to y'all, he ain't talking to me. I didn't see none of that energy. So I'm starting to feel like, this whole thing may just be an act. Maybe Corey Holcomb is just a fake tough guy. Because if that's who you are, that's who you are. And I get it, he's branded himself as being that. But as we know in real life, you can promote something, but eventually, if that's what you're going to promote, there's going to come a time when you're going to have to, people are going to have to see if you are that, what you say you are. And this is what Corey's brought. He's brought that energy onto himself. A lot of people may not have seen that Wild 'N Out episode, but I know I'm not the only one that saw it. I'm not that old to where my mind is playing tricks on me, aka Bushwick Bill, Willie D, Scarface. Yeah. So that's my whole thing. Is if Corey Holcomb is not necessarily taking on this tough guy persona of I'll fight you on sight and do this. I don't really think much of the whole Donnell Rawlings situation. But he created this situation. So now, Corey, if you're gonna create that energy, you got to be about it. And if not, then just do your jokes, call it a day, and go home. Because I saw Wild 'N Out. I saw Fat Joe diss the whole Wild 'N Out crew. They don't count. You count. Because you're the one that want to fight Stephen A. Smith at the airport and all these guys when you see them. So you count. So remember, Corey Holcomb, Big Brother's watching you. Wild 'N Out episode, Fat Joe said he was going to slap the you-know-what out you. And you didn't say a word. Not a word. So my advice to Corey Holcomb is stay funny and leave the gangster stuff to the real gangsters. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, peace, love, and whatever else you think of love.